So our move out process, we're going to go select somebody and move that individual out. So I'm going to go ahead in here and I'm going to once again hit edit this lease, which takes me to my lease notebook, and I have the ability to use this move out button. The move out the tenants button, we're going to go ahead and click on that. Now, this move out process is a planned order, and there's a reason why each of these numbers is in a very specific order. It works best. So I want you to keep that in mind. It doesn't mean you have to fill out every single one of these. There are some that are critical to the equation, but some you do not have to populate. If you, however, don't do them in the same order, you won't get the same result each time. So let's plan to do it in the same order. And this is the order and the way I like to do it. Now, first, let's plan the move out. When you click on an item over here, I call this, kind of like chapters, my move out chapter. The first chapter for me is my plan the move out, and it'll pop up this screen over to the right. I'm not able to do anything over here except pop around and choose a chapter. Over here is where all the action is. So I'm going to go to my plan move out, and I'm going to say notice given. You know what? In this scenario, they skipped. They didn't give me a notice. So I'm not going to give them credit for giving me a notice by populating that. They didn't plan a move out. If they had given proper notice, I would date it here. If they had given me a planned move out date, I would put it here. My people left, like sneaks in the night. So my financial responsibility ends is up to my business policy. In my case, I'm going to say that they are going to be, and keep in mind, financial responsibility ends means, when do you want PropertyBoss to stop auto charging rent? That doesn't mean you can't put other financial business on their lease. It just means stop PropertyBoss from automating rent is due, rent is due, rent is due. And I'm going to say their financial responsibility ends at the end of this month. The reason I'm saying that is because that will allow me to get the apartment turned, and it will allow me to re-rent it. The longer their financial responsibility ends lasts, the more we push it out, the longer you cannot, by law, re-rent that apartment. So be conscientious about that. Financial responsibility ends means rental responsibility ends. Now, you can charge other charges, fees, you can charge damages, you can charge penalties, but if you're charging rent, only one person is able to rent at a time. And so keep that kind of close in for that very reason. Reason for moving out must be selected per the system. And so we're going to say this person was a skip. Okay. Now, when I'm done with this, because I didn't fill out all the boxes, I'm going to tell PropertyBoss by clicking on this little box that I did that step. And so it has automatically created an inspection work order for me. I have it set in advance to do that. And there are opportunities for us to tweak that for you. And then the next thing I'm going to do is, if I have it, I'm going to enter their forwarding address. Now, keep in mind, with a normal move out, not a skip, but a normal move out, some of these steps might take up to 30 days to do each of the steps. The great news about PropertyBoss is I can leave at any point in time. I can click OK, leave my move screen, go about my business, work on my day, come back into the same move box and take a look. And sure enough, as you can see, it shows me where I left off. It also shows other staff members where I've left off. So if somebody else picks up where I left off, there's no question about what I've done. So far, all that's happened is we've had a skip, and we're holding them responsible until the end of this month. I don't have a forwarding address. If I get one, I'll put it in there. But don't mark it done if you don't have a forwarding address. It's silly for you to say that you've done something and then later look, counting on that address, and sure enough, it's not there. Execute move out is an important step. The execute move out, what happens here is we're going to put an actual move out date. So they actually moved out, we'll say 7/2/17. It took us a minute to notice. Now, I can click on a couple of things here too, and I'm going to leave this for a later time. But the bottom line is we have the ability to create inspections, specific forms that you can take with you to do an inspection, or you can have a series of work orders, that a make-ready process that will execute specific work orders for the turn of the property initiated as of this day. So we have that ability to do both of those things. Those are automated. We set those up in the back, and I'll touch on that in just a bit. So I'm going to leave that for the moment. My biggest concern is the actual move out date and executing the move out. This means that this person, Elvis, has left the building. If Elvis is out, then I need to make sure I execute this move out. What's important about this is this date ties back to the planned move out screen. Remember how important I said that financial responsibility end date is? That ties to this, and that's what prompts PropertyBoss to start its prorating. So if you don't have that checked, or you don't have execute your move out, or you don't have an actual move out date, you really want to make sure that if you do nothing else properly, make sure you plan your move out and make sure you execute your move out.